Chito Vera.
22-year-old Marlon Chito Vera. Huge head kick there from Vera, and that is it.
For a man who walks around at 150-odd pounds, Marlon Vera hits viciously hard. Chito's power comes from his hunger to achieve his life's biggest goal, the well-being of his daughter, who was born with facial paralysis in 2011.
I was like, from now on, nothing is about me, and nothing will never be. I gotta make things happen for my daughter.
Holding his daughter in his arms, Vera realized that he fought for more than titles and glory. Fatherhood transformed him into an unbreakable warrior who's willing to go to any lengths for his family. This is his incredible journey. Hailing from Shone, Ecuador, Marlon Vera embraced street fighting in his youth, but switched to MMA after being inspired by Pride tapes. His transition into the sport was seamless as he started learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 16, later adding wrestling and striking to his repertoire. 2 years of relentless training in amateur fights marked his dedication to becoming a rising MMA star. However, his life took a significant turn when his first child, Ana Paula, was born with Mobius syndrome, a rare neurological disorder affecting facial and eye muscles. From that day on, Vera fought solely to fund his daughter's surgery, prioritizing her smile over championships or glory. 2 months after Ana's birth, Vera turned pro, amassing a 6-1-1 record in Latin American promotions before joining the Ultimate Fighter Latin America. In the quarterfinals, Vera faced Mexican counterpart Henry Briones. The fight was back and forth as both men had their moments. Briones was doing better work on the ground and teed off with big shots from top position. Then, Vera rocked his brain cells with one of the most vicious KOs in the Ultimate Fighter history. With a knockout like that, Vera was destined for big things, but unfortunately, a skin infection put an end to his TUF dream. Vera was ruled out on the competition, but Dana White promised to bring him back.
We will absolutely, positively bring you back, and you will fight in the finale.
Thanks. Thank you, boss.
You're welcome.
In 2014, Vera made his debut in the UFC, losing to Marco Beltran, but he bounced back with a performance of the night. In his second promotional fight, Vera faced Roman Salazar, whose plan was to take the Ecuadorian down and smash his face. Salazar managed to execute part 1 of his plan to perfection, but he failed to do any damage.
Lateral movement, John, which is complicating things for Salazar.
Vera used his guard to nullify Salazar's offense in the first frame and landed a few crisp shots to finish the round.
Nice left hand lands.
Salazar started round 2 with another takedown, but Vera was prepared this time around. Chito initially trapped Salazar in a triangle choke, but then transitioned to an armbar, finishing the job stylishly with elbows from the bottom.
Chito Vera!
After defeating Salazar, Vera had 2 more fights, with 1 win and 1 loss, before taking on the experienced Brad Pickett in a 140-pound catchweight bout. Pickett had more success in the first round. He pushed the pace and landed more nice shots. Vera dictated range using stiff jabs and kicks. Pickett was in control when the fight entered the 3rd round, but Vera came out guns blazing, knowing that he needed a finish. Vera continued to pile up damage. Late in the 3rd round, Vera ended the legend's career with a thunderous high kick before punctuating his gruesome strike with a couple of hammer fists.
Y así termina la carrera de Don Pickett en el UFC. Da la sorpresa Chito Vera.
Despite a monumental victory, Vera let Pickett have his moment since it was his retirement fight. He didn't celebrate out of respect for the veteran.
You talk to me about that.
Hey, London, slow down. Hey, wait. Give him some respect to Brad. Brad Pickett is a legend of the sport. I remember I was 17 years old watching this guy fighting. And today, I have the honor of fighting him in the last fight.
In his next fight, Vera added another victory against Brian Kelleher to improve to 3 wins in a row, but his inconsistent run in the UFC continued, with back-to-back losses at the hands of John Lineker and Douglas Silva de Andrade. But then Vera mounted an iconic comeback by winning 5 out of his next 6 fights. He first stopped Woolidji Burn with a brutal body shot. Chito then punched Guido Canetti's face in with brutal ground and pound before submitting him with a rear naked choke. By then, Vera had raised sufficient funds for his daughter's successful surgery. Witnessing Anna's smile for the first time became his greatest inspiration. No longer fighting for money, he now pursued the ultimate prize, UFC gold. Frankie Saenz was Vera's next victim. Following an impressive run of victories, Vera faced the toughest test of his career against Sugar Sean O'Malley. O'Malley, a rising star at the time, was tipped to win because of his superior striking and his explosive power.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's Chito. I think he's basic, he's tough, so it'd be a good fight for me.
By the end of the fight, O'Malley was made to eat his words in the cage. Throughout the fight, O'Malley relied more on feints and combinations, throwing a variety of strikes. Vera relied on leg kicks and damaged O'Malley's peroneal nerve with one. Then came a head kick.
Nice high kick.
Midway through the first round, O'Malley suffered a drop foot. Knowing he was in trouble, O'Malley tried to launch a vicious attack on Vera, but ended up crashing to the canvas.
He fell down.
On the mat, Vera landed brutal elbows and some hard shots to put O'Malley out of his misery. In his next bout, Vera encountered a minor setback but rebounded with wins against top divisional contenders. But first, he settled a personal score with Davey Grant, who'd handed Chito his 3rd professional loss. Chito was the aggressor in their rematch, and he landed a couple of mean knees to Grant's breadbasket to stamp his authority in round 1.
Old man strength is real.
Chito followed it up with a couple of nice jabs. In the second, Vera continued to touch his opponent with his deceptive power, but Grant landed nice shots too.
Be careful. But he's still throwing with a...
Vera finished the round on a high thanks to vicious groundwork. In round 3, Vera continued to bloody up Grant before securing a takedown to win by a decision. Following an impressive showing against Grant, Vera took down an absolute legend of the sport, Frankie Edgar.
Doesn't work. Holdine is going to stop this fight. Frankie Edgar finishes the legend. 10 seconds to go in the fight.
Terrific dominance on the
That's
ground.
it. Frankie Edgar gets the late finish.
The wrestling ace traded shots with Vera early, using his trademark footwork and movement to frustrate his opponent. Once he found his opening, Edgar took the fight to the mat. The second round was much of the same. Edgar traded shots with Vera until he found an opening for a takedown. Vera connected with a big punch late in the second, which caught Edgar's attention. At the end of round 2, both men exchanged heated words and Vera gave Edgar the birdie. The Ecuadorian started fighting with greater confidence in the third, tagging Edgar with a few big shots. Late in the third round, Vera produced the biggest moment of the fight, melting Frankie Edgar with one of the most gruesome front kick knockouts in UFC history. After a vicious front kick knockout, Vera fought another top guy in his division, Rob Font.
This he's hungry, and I know he's going to bring the fight, so this is an exciting fight for me.
The fight was the best example of power versus precision, where power took the lead. Font used jabs and combinations effectively early, landing shots that forced Vera to retreat.
Game plan. It always is. It's mixed martial arts.
Right. And that's what's tricky about Vera as well.
Vera was on the back foot in round 2, but he shifted the momentum with a crushing left hook. Round 3 was the same as Font landed more shots, but Vera landed the biggest ones. Vera dropped Font in the fourth again with a head kick. Vera continued to land big shots in round 5, one of which hurt Font late in the round. At the end of the fight, Font's face was a bloody mess, and he looked like one of those Lord of the Rings villains. Gruesome. By that time, bantamweight GOAT Dominick Cruz was back in the title picture, and he eagerly accepted the UFC's offer to face Marlon Vera in his quest for a title shot. Cruz was oozing with confidence as usual.
So the fans are lucky. It's a good day to die.
The battle between Marlon Vera and Dominick Cruz was a story of two halves. The first half favored Cruz, as he landed the better shots and enjoyed a lot of success in the striking exchanges. Vera was patient, and he landed a few shots, but he stamped his authority with a crushing left hook early. Cruz responded by pushing the pace. Vera put Cruz on his back again in the third round with a straight right. Early in the fourth round, Vera dropped Cruz again, but he was able to recover once more. A few minutes later, Vera blasted a head kick to finish the job, also squishing his opponent's nose in the process.
was going to move to the left, saw it coming, but Dominick didn't see that coming.
Oh my God.
After a tiny setback against Corey Sandhagen, Vera returned to winning ways with an impressive win against perennial contender Pedro Munoz. It was a typical Vera fight, where his opponent had more volume, but his power was the difference. In the first round, Munoz landed more strikes, whereas Vera quietly picked his jabs and low kicks. In the second round, Vera started to land his combos and busted Munoz's nose up. The Brazilian was having his moments as well. In the third round, Munoz pushed the pace, but Vera landed big shots on the counter.
Oh, 1-2. Oh, and another right hand by Vera.
At the end of the third round, Vera was declared the winner by a unanimous decision. On the same card, Sean O'Malley won the bantamweight title, making Marlon Vera the top contender for a rematch for the ages.
Is it a done deal that Chito will be your opponent?
If I got the pick, if I was running the show, I would say yes, simply because Chito is the biggest fight next.
At 30, Marlon Vera's journey from tough beginnings in Ecuador to a top UFC contender is remarkable. The big question is, can he reclaim the title by defeating Sean O'Malley once more? This fight has a history. O'Malley wants it, Vera seeks it, fans crave it, and the UFC is also ready to rock and roll. Will it be the crowning moment for Marlon Chito Vera?